Hey everyone, welcome back to another fun day of renovations. It's actually been a couple weeks since I've done any filming. The whole family ended up getting COVID and it's been a bit of a rough recovery. Feeling better now. I've still been working here, so I've got a little bit to catch up on. So we're gonna start with that and then we're gonna get right into it today because we got a lot to do. So first off, I think we've got what will be the final coat up on this ceiling. I just need to sand it down and then we're gonna call it good. So the other big thing you saw probably in the photo for the last video, but not actually in the work that I did, is that we got the bathroom floor all finished. Well, it's not finished up. I haven't grouted it yet, but all the tiles in place and it looks great. Just to give you a quick idea in here, came out really well. I'm super happy with it. I do have a little bit of lippage on one of the tiles right here. I don't think it has anything to do with the floor. I think when I was in there, I must have mistakenly put some weight on it and there's nothing I can do about it now. It's not too bad. Not gonna worry about it, but it's there. It's definitely there. I just wanna share, I did that whole thing with this Ruby manual tile cutter that I bought probably like 10 or so years ago, and my grinder with the diamond blade. Worked great. The first time I ever installed tile was with a tile saw, and it went pretty well. It was okay. It was a little messy, and honestly, I struggled a little bit with the type of tile I was cutting. Second time was tile saw as well, and then I saw someone use a manual tile cutter. I'm like, that looks so easy, and honestly, having used both, it was. Highly recommend the manual tile cutter, accompanied by the grinder with the diamond blade. They do a great job complementing each other. And sometimes I throw in the nippers just for fun. I just want to say too that splitting it up over 2 days, that was definitely the right choice, especially because I was sick, right? It was actually 3 days for me. I went and I did the part you saw one day, then I came and cut one night, and I was like having hot flashes. I was still in the thick of COVID, so it was pretty rough. And I came back a few days later, mixed the thin set, and just laid that all out. It was super easy. All right, so let's get back to what we're doing today. Those of you who have been with me for a while, you probably have noticed that my background has changed, right? Normally I do the intro videos in another room. So about that other room. All right, so we're over here in the front room now. Obviously this ceiling's a bit of a mess. And it's this 12-inch by 24-inch tile, which essentially just gets laid up there. It's a pain in the butt to patch. It never looks right. And honestly, the ceiling's in rough shape as it is. So I wish I had a cooler transition to this, but I'm actually in the room now where I would normally be filming the openings to most of these videos. So this is the current state of the ceiling. This is what we're going to be working on today. So I ended up pulling down all of those 2x12 tiles. I ended up as well running, you can't see it behind here, I ended up running electrical up from the basement. All around, and then I ran it up through here so I had some nice lighting on the ceiling. And then honestly, because I'm a glutton for punishment, this wall here I ended up demoing as well. If you remember, this is where they had the dartboard here. There were tons of holes in it. It was going to be a pain to patch. And in general, that beadboard was in really rough shape. And it's one of those things where I wasn't filming, so I didn't feel supervised. And this is how I was when I was a kid too. Like, unfortunately, I get curious, or I get maybe a little bit destructive, and yeah, this whole thing, right? This is the end result. So today I'm challenging myself. The plan is to get all of this drywall hung on the ceiling and on the wall here, and we're also going to try and tape it too, which that might be a stretch, but I think we can do it. As always, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. And we're just going to get started, right? Because we got a lot to do. So the first thing we're going to do today is just work to clean this room up. If you saw one of my prior videos where I complained about having everything in the way while I was using the drywall lift, right? We're going to use that as a lesson learned, right? We're actually going to clean up in here just to start out with. It's the end of an era. All right, so the first thing we're going to do here right now is just throw some screws into these, just to make sure they have got nice positive contact. Those nails are kind of old, and some of them I noticed were pulling out. So there's nothing that warms you up for a full day of driving screws overhead like driving 100 screws overhead. So, oh man, I forgot already. I forgot what last room was like, and I'm back on. I'm trying to do this again. I'm dumb. Anyway, so the last thing I got to do in here is just fix some of this insulation. Some of it's kind of puffed up and whatever. And then I've got some over there I just need to pull down a little bit. And I am going to fill in this gap right here. So if you've been with me since the upstairs apartment, you may remember the day I had a big old leak in here and I had to pull that all down and it was just raining down on me. I'm going to put fiberglass back up in there, but as you can see, it's a combination of fiberglass and kind of blown in right now. So we're just going to fill that void, and once that's done, we should be ready to drywall. All right, so the floor's cleaned up enough. The insulation's all in decent enough shape. I've got all the furring strips marked, and I've got all the locations for the lights marked. So I've learned a bunch of lessons from the other room. I think we're in good shape. Now, the thing that I'm not sure about is whether this is going to work. So I bought 10-foot sheets of drywall, and this room is just about 10 feet. So one of the concerns I had was being able to actually just get it into place given how close we are on either side. So this is going to be a lesson learned, I think, for me, to try and see if I can actually get these in place without having to cut them. If I have to cut them, that's not the end of the world, but I don't want to do it. So here we go. Well, that was a terrible start. All right, so let's try this one more time. I pulled off the little piece of trim that was over there on the wall that everything was getting hung up on. All right, so at this point, I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea still. Obviously, that piece went in a little rough, but it is saving me from having to do butt joints, so. So here's a $1 million question. Do I start cutting these in half and make it easier for myself to put them up? Or do I continue trying to put whole sheets up and you know, risking a little bit of corner breakage or whatever? I'm going to continue putting whole sheets up because I really hate doing butt joints. I'm just going to go for it. A little struggle now is much better than a lot of struggle later. So we're going to keep at it. All right, overall, that went really well. It took me about 3 hours to hang 5 sheets of drywall, including the one I had to cut. As you saw, it was a bit of a struggle at first to get almost the right length for the room drywall in there because of the trim. I had to kind of angle it a little bit, but ultimately it worked out in the end. It's going to save me quite a bit of time, I think, when it comes to mudding. Just a quick look at how it turned out. Nothing fancy, a lot of screws, but I'd say I'm pretty happy with it, especially the time that it took. And I feel like it's going to make a big difference in here. All right, so before we start taping, we got one more thing to do here. Not sure if you remember from the intro, but someone went and removed, I don't know who, someone went and removed this wall. And I probably wasn't being honest with myself to begin with. It was in really rough shape. There was like dart holes all in it. And I did notice there was drywall underneath. And where the beadboard was kind of separating, I pulled it back a little bit. I was like, oh, there's drywall underneath. I could just take this whole thing off. Well, I did, and what I found was there were places where there were holes, there was glue, it was just a bit of a mess. So I said, okay, it's coming off. So now we got to get all this patched up as well. I don't think it's going to take a super long time because I've got all the drywall and it's a smaller space. But I do think this is the first time I've hung vertical sheets of drywall on a new wall, so it's actually kind of exciting. All right, so I'm gonna start off taping relatively simply. I just have some fiberglass tape, and I actually got myself a new roll. The roll I had, for some reason, had cuts all the way through it. So I'd take off a length, and then it would just break. And I don't know why. It's probably there for some. I hope this new roll doesn't. That roll I've actually had since, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years. My mom gave it to me. I think it was a gift, or maybe I stole it. I don't know. I finally have my own. I'm adulting now. I finally have my own roll of fiberglass drywall tape. So, yeah. Not gonna lie, that's actually a lot better. It actually sticks. The roll I had was so old it didn't really stick anymore, so this is pretty nice. Unfortunately, now I have expectations. All right, so that was a good warm-up. Now it is time for the main event. All right, so this is going super well. The only thing that's bugging me is I can't find my 6-inch drywall knife, which would be the perfect size for what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm gonna hopefully find it. I'll be right back. So I am done. I was having a hard time actually just lifting my arm over my head with the impact driver. I'm sore, but today was a great day. Do you remember what all this looked like this morning? Do you remember, like, behind here? Right, we got all this done. We hung all the drywall. We taped it. We even did a first pass on all the screw holes. And that's something I forgot to do when I did that other room the first time. And going back afterwards, having to do all those separately. No, we didn't like that. We even got this wall done over here. That looks so much better. I insulated where I could. And the best part is when I do the intros to all these videos, I now have this pristine backdrop instead of the mess that it was before. So, I mean, let's face it, that's why I really did it. Yeah. Today was a good day. It was a very good day, so I'm pretty happy. I do want to say a moment of silence for little Stubby here. So I've had this pencil with this is dumb, but I've had this pencil with me for this entire apartment, right? So it's been, I don't know. I think I started this sometime in like August or September. I don't even know. It's been like 3 or 4 months, right? I still have it, and the reason I still have it is because every day. I got a new pencil in here now. Every time I use the pencil, I just take it and I put it right in there, right? I got the marker in there as well. And it finally got to the point where the pocket is just too tall for the pencil because I wore it down. This is gonna go to the old pencils retirement home, also known as to my daughter, because I know she will appreciate this. She'll throw one of those little eraser heads on it and she will use the heck out of it until it's gone. Next one, like once this one is used up, this one's gonna go to my son. So with that, we're gonna call it a wrap for the day. Again, look at it's magical. Thanks so much for joining me. As a reminder, if you like this content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.